is thicker than water, but it's clogging up the drain. I'm meant to make you feel bad, to get inside of your brain. What good does it do letting go of issues, 'cause they're gonna come back? What good does it do letting go of issues, 'cause they're gonna come back? Wanna make you feel better, but I left you all alone. I'm meant to make you feel bad, it's pretty selfish, What good does it do letting go of issues, 'cause they're gonna come back? What good does it do letting go of issues, 'cause they're gonna come back? What good does it do letting go of issues, 'cause they're gonna come back? What good does it do letting go of issues, 'cause they're gonna come back? What good does it do letting go of issues, 'cause they're gonna come back? What good does it do letting go of issues, 'cause they're gonna come back?
It'd work even better if you turned the mic on, wouldn't it? Christ, that was smooth, wasn't it? Bloody hell. Couldn't work out why it wasn't working. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming in. Obviously, this is the channel where Mick reviews stuff, so I decided to do this live stream. I actually really enjoy doing this, to be honest. I'll see how it works now. It's all right, I didn't expand the website. Do you know? Well, I can't tell you that bit just yet until we'll take a look at it. But good evening, everyone. Let's see if I can find the chat again. That's the only thing with OBS. It doesn't make it very easy to go between when you're doing it on your own. It doesn't make it very easy. I think if we reduce that, that'll work. Does it work? Shall I press it again? I think I've lost the chat. Let me have another go. Should be able to pull it in sideways, I'd have thought. Click that. No, it looks like an epic fail on my point. Oh, there you are. I found you now. We'll go into that in a moment. So, who's here? Cloud Chucker, good evening to you. BBG, you were the first. Nice to see you, mate. Kelvin Fagan, good evening to you, sir. Becoming a regular. Me and Kelvin have been speaking to each other or communicating with each other. We used to talk to each other on an app called Blab back in the day. And then, obviously, I followed him on Facebook, and we still do. So we communicate, not on a massively regular basis, but we do. We do like each other's stuff and sort of communicate that way. It's amazing how you meet these people. We were on about, last week, we were on about Hamish, who drives a taxi in Glasgow. And I actually started 14 years ago, started communicating with him on Twitter. And we've just we've never actually met, but we've shared stories with each other for years and years and years. And now he's finally on TikTok, so I'm bothering him on there now. Keep leaving him videos and stuff like that, trying to get him going a bit on there. He's doing all right. He's actually started to talk to the punters now. So it's a bit warmer tonight. It's not been very warm all day. We've actually had air conditioning fitted this week. I think I've got it set too high, to be honest. It's a bit. It's just got really warm up here and really muggy all of a sudden. So I've popped it on. This is what it's for. So obviously I can close the door now. It's only a small room, this, but it gets really stifled out pretty quick. I don't think is the mic picking it up? No, the microphone's not picking it up either. So I did a live stream on the other channel last night and it sounded absolutely awful. So I've been back at it now, tweaking the microphone again. I think I've got it going. I had that little fethead that I showed you last week that was broke. I finally got that sent off. And the one I bought last week, I've got rid of that as well. That went back. That's a good thing with Amazon, 100% returns. If stuff doesn't work, you just get your money back and that's the end of it. They said that little thing that I got last week was 30 decibels of gain. And it obviously wasn't. It was a bit of a fib, shall we say. Because the original one was 27 decibels and the 30 decibels one was much quieter. So it meant that it wasn't anywhere near 30 decibels. So that's it. So it didn't work right. Obviously, not so many people watch this stream as what they do on the other one, but hopefully at some point we'll get this one built up to be as busy as the other one. Can you use your air conditioning in the winter with warm setting? I can, mate. Yeah, that's it. That was the other plan. If it had just been purely air conditioning, I wouldn't have bothered. But we've got no upstairs heating in here. And rather than having the floorboards torn up and putting radiators in, this is a lot easier option. You just flick it on. For the amount of time I'm in here, well, I do spend quite a lot of time in here in the thing. It's lovely. You've had lovely weather today. Currently on holiday in Yorkshire. Ah, right. No, you can't share any pictures on here. Sorry. You'll not be far off Shrek then. So, I've been down to the can shop. We're going Dutch tonight. Time to have a little beer. Gone down 0.5 of ABV, all the way from Holland. Orange Boom. Now, you think that's a strong one? They do a 6.5% one as well of this. It's a shame I can't share pictures on here as well, Kelvin, to be honest. Let me see if I can. There we go. I can't show you this. But they actually do a 20% beer, Orange Boom do. But the one we've got is the 8.5%. And it says full-bodied and pure premium lagers with powerful and sizzling and it's just sent itself sideways. With powerful and sizzling flavour, a punchy bitterness and a strong finish. They're a 12% one. It just basically says the same thing about it. I wanted to find it. There's a 14% one. And I'm sure there's a 20% somewhere. It's not showing you in this portfolio, but there is actually a 20% beer. And it says on it, made for sharing. Now, that really would be made for sharing. Otherwise, you would be in a bit of trouble, I would imagine, with that. Imagine 3 or 4 of them. But they also do a 5% one and a 0% one if you're looking for an orange boom that's not going to boom you. I'll click that and see if that goes away. There is a beer called Crest that is 10%. Yeah, there's Kapaki as well, which is a Polish one. That's 10%. I actually like that as well. But that's it. That's what it looks like. £2.50 a can. I'm going to mention them as well because they look after me pretty well. I buy Special Brew, and I bought some more of that other stuff that I had last week, and they let me have 4 cans for £9. Mr. Steve Hankey, how you doing, mate? Nice to see you. You can't actually see. I'm not going to be able to read anything off this bloody can because it's all too small. That's what it looks like. I remember having this before, and it gave me a massive headache, so we'll see what happens with this one. As usual with a high ABV, get it out of the can as soon as you can, otherwise you'll end up in a mess. Oh, got a good flow on there. Oh, here we go. See how quick that settles down. A lot of times with these high ABV ones, you don't get much of a head on them for very long because the alcohol takes it over. It's quite fizzy. Not as fizzy as that one last week. That was I wouldn't say it was a weird one. It was a different one, that, because it was like halfway between a beer and a cider. I actually bought 4 more cans of that last week and drank them on Wednesday night on Benny's show. Bit more of a head. Got him in the Duval chalice again. You can see the fizz coming up off that. Anybody talking to me? No. Just make sure. See if I can get it. You should be able to get 500 mils in this thing. I'm sure you should. I do like a 500 mil can. Those 440s are forever going to the bloody fridge. Crazy. Anyway, I've only got the one up here. Play it safe. Otherwise you won't be able to hear what I'm saying. So dare we try it? That's what I'm saying to you. Dare we try it? Is it going to blow my head off? Could do with being a bit colder, that. It's only been in the fridge a couple of hours, but it was pretty cold when I got it out there fridge. But sometimes I think their chillers just blow a fan on them, don't they? Oh, it's nice. I'm becoming a connoisseur of these headbanger beers. These trampanes. What did Kelvin call them last week? Bench beers. A park bench ale. Ooh, yum yum. So could have done with it being a bit colder. That's the thing with an IABV. You want them pretty cool. You know, 1 hour in the freezer, yeah, but you've got to count them in, haven't you, Mike? Count them in and then count them back out. Because if you miss one, it's doomed, isn't it? Especially if it's a bottle, because it pops the top out of the bottle. I'll just put my little thing on again. This little thing here, YouTube policy, if you're going to vape anything, you have to put that on there to warn people that the stuff that you're vaping has got nicotine in it. There's a guy doing cigarettes. And he ain't got one on. But anyway, such is life. It's their YouTube, isn't it? We're not going to do anything about vaping. I just like to sit here and do this while I'm chatting to you lot. So. I've got a couple of things to show you tonight. Now, a few years ago, I discovered eBay. And just after I discovered eBay, I decided it was a good idea to buy anything on there to do with mobile phones. So I've got a massive collection of a lot of them are just chucked in the corner and stuff like that, because a lot of them now will no longer work. But some of them, you know, like the batteries have gone, and you won't be able to get a battery for them. And if you did, what would be the point? Really, it was more the aesthetics of the devices I was interested in than actually using them. The first thing you find out if you get an old style mobile phone and you go out with it, they're absolutely useless for anything other than making a call on. If you want to download your boarding pass or check your Facebook or talk to somebody in a different country without using it as a phone, there's a reason they've got better. It's because they needed to. But I've got I think there's a little Nokia in here somewhere. One of these. I mean, these are amazing. If you're going somewhere and you don't want to get robbed, shove that in your back pocket and nobody will ever pinch it. And as for a phone, an actual telephone, they work really well. In this country or in Europe. I'm not so sure that would work in America because they've got to be quad band, haven't they? You've still got a 32. I bet it's still charged up as well, isn't it? I think this. I can't think what Nokia this one was. This is a Nokia 1112. They did an 1100 as well, didn't they? Which was a fabulous little blue phone. I don't know if I've got one or two of them. I think I gave one of them away. So I've got one. And I used to take that to the Dominican Republic because it was quad band. I used to put a pay-as-you-go SIM card in it, and it was a way of making sure back in the day that you didn't come back to a massive bill. But these are fabulous. I mean, for what? I mean, the drug dealer phones now, aren't they, if you really want to say it. But they last a week on a charge because it doesn't do anything. I bet you could play Snake on it somewhere along. Had a clock on it, I think. And I think, from what I remember, if you pressed the button on it, it was actually a speaking clock as well. They were pretty good for people with sight difficulties. But we're not going to talk about that one yet. We've got something much earlier than that. I'm going to put this camera so you can actually see it. I'm going to have to move my camera up in the air because this is... I went to look for something else and found this one, so you might as well have a look at it. Watch out for crotch cam. Right, we'll see how we get on. Who remembers these? Portable cellular telephone. It's still got the paperwork in the box as well. Let me show you it. See if I can get it to focus. There we go. There's the paperwork. Look, still got the handbook. The Motorola personal phone. It's got no screen on it. Nothing. That must have been... Was that where the SIM card is? I don't know. Probably not. Oh, it's got vouchers, look. Oh, the quick information guides. Look at this for a beast. Shows you how to work everything up, just in case. These were the days when it used to say send on the buttons. The unique service that keeps you constantly connected. You used to ring somebody 20 times, didn't you, before it would actually connect because they were analog and they were rubbish. Look at this. If your phone is in need of repair, take it to an authorised Motorola Express Exchange Centre. To find your nearest centre, phone the Motorola information. I wonder if that... Give me a ring, see if it's still there. Your mobile phone number, identification and your programmed information will be transferred to an exchange phone which is similar to your own unit. This process will normally be completed in less than 15 minutes. Taxi man, how you doing? I've got Ellen on the other end of it, yeah. Elon Musk. I'm sure he's a fake. Good evening, Taxi Man 2002. The Don of... Gosh, you could win £500. I'm sure it's finished. Don't bother trying to apply. Look at that warranty registration. It's like a brand new piece. It's like an antique, this, man. I won't put myself on. No, I'll not do it for a minute. I'll not do it. Mobile phone and Cellnet tariffs. Are the vouchers still in date? I'm presuming they're long gone. This will be a 19... Yes. Low usage, lifetime for peace of mind and free connection. Here we are. Look, let's have a look at the pricing. If it'll do it. Connection is free. You've saved £29.50 on the connection fee. If you go with call connections between 2nd of the 10th 94 and 5th the 11th 94. Monthly subscription, $9.99. Call charges, 80 pence a minute. How's about that then? Let's have a look, see if we can find a better tariff. Because that one seems a bit excessive. So it's a 1994 model. Connection obviously waived again. Monthly subscription £14.99 a month. Call charges off peak 20 pence a minute and 50 pence per minute peak. And peak was 8 AM to 7 PM. That's a pretty serious peak time, isn't it? That. This one was £30 a month and you got it for 29 pence a minute. Oh, it wasn't too bad at that though, was it? 12 pence a minute off peak. Trouble is though, when you started making a call, if it went through to the answer phone, you used to pay it, wouldn't you? I think I might go. They just used to smell of wee though, didn't they? It's not long after. So that was the tariffs on Cellnet in 1994. So let's have a look at this gem. Look at that beastie there. Look. No, this isn't the remote control. This is the battery. Not sure as it would be any good now, but that's what it is. Do not dispose of on fire. It's not had much use, this one. It's been in a box since 1997, I think. So very portable. Let's see if I can actually show you when I'm putting it together. Look at that. There you go, look. That was the day when to dial out was actually called send. That was your battery meter. That shows you how much battery you got left. So it would be there first thing in the morning, there by dinner time, there by middle of the afternoon, and when you actually wanted to ring anybody on it in the evening, you needed charging up again. That used to take about a day and a half to charge. But the innovation that came with these, because just before that, you had to have them mounted in your car. Not sure as the aerial actually did any good. I think they were just aesthetically pleasing because that's what the American people used to like. And that's the Motorola personal phone. Handy little charger. Only weighs about 4 kilo. We're only taking the mickey a little bit. These were cutting edge when they come out. Been used a couple of times, I think. Which way did that go? That's a murder weapon, not a phone. You may laugh. You may laugh, John Paul. You may laugh. But that's what it is. These are just analog, so obviously there's no SIM card in there, is there? They have to connect them up onto the network like a radio transmitter. If you actually if your phone arrived on Friday, they never used to switch you on while Monday morning. Used to keep walking over and switching it on and seeing if it'll dial out, and it kept going, oh no, it'll not work. 32, yeah, that's right, yes. This God, yeah, that's right, exactly. You don't think about it, do you, really? When I put that picture of my first proper taxi on the internet the other week, you think, well, that was 28 years ago when I was driving that car. So that's going back in the cupboard for, I don't know, the grandkids will be able to throw it out when I'm gone. Then we're going to move on to something a bit more pretty. Taximan 2002 will know all about this one because he actually rang me on it. This is one of my prized possessions in the world. It's only really any good now, to be really honest. The only real use for it is as a paperweight because they've turned off the BlackBerry thing, so you can't use them anymore. This is a BlackBerry Post Design P9983 smartphone, and this is how it came. It actually came with a white box on the outside, which I've just gone to get it out of the cupboard, and the glue's finally died. Good evening, Andy. Nice to see you, mate. So that's no good anymore. But this is what I got. I actually ordered this it came from Budapest. I ordered it on Bank Holiday Monday. I wish I could remember when it was. It was just as they started to dump the price. This was £800 and something when I first got it, which is, compared to an iPhone nowadays, is quite cheap. But I ordered it on Bank Holiday Monday and it turned up Tuesday morning from Budapest. I tracked it from DHL all night, or you could see the tracking all night, and it arrived in It arrived in East Midlands Airport at 8 o'clock the next morning, and I got it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon just before I went to work. I'm just going to try and remember how to get it out of the box. Oh, that's it. I don't know if we're going to be able to manage this. Let me see if I can do it. I might need to stand that on there. Ooh, see if I can do it. See if I can get it to focus. No, it's not really stood very well, that. Is that going to look? Down a bit. Just, it's one of them flip-top boxes. And I remember getting it out of the packaging and all the stuff, and I was excited as a kid. Because that's what's underneath it. Obviously, when BlackBerry BBM was a thing, if you bought the Porsche design one, you got a specific user number. And that was the AA at the beginning. And it came with this card. This posh card that goes in there. Here's the device itself. It's still beautiful even now. I absolutely love this. Leather back, so that's genuine leather on the back of there. P9983 logo. Got a fair size screen on it as well, though. One thing they used to suffer from was the buttons used to get gowed up underneath with your fingers, and you used to have to send them back for a service because, like, you'd press Q and it'd do 3 Qs or something like that. You know what I mean? Anyway, we'll go back over that in a minute. I'll be able to put the camera better. But then what you do after that is then you take this out. It's like a James Bond film. And underneath you've got, this is the never been out, look, like brand new, never been used, never been ripped, nothing. Here's all the paperwork that comes with it about BlackBerry devices. It's all done out in like velvet, this box. It's all about the Porsche design thing, because obviously it was a Porsche design product. I'm not even going to open them. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? It's beautiful. But list price for these when they first came out was like €1,800. That's the Porsche design thing. It's even got its own cleaning cloth, look. Still in the bag. But what they also gave you, they gave you this. I never used the charging cable. It's brand new, never been taken out, look. But what you also got was all the USB plugs as well. That's never been used. Obviously, that's the one for Europe. USA. I don't know what this one is. I don't know, honestly don't know where that one is, unless it says it on it. I've no idea where that one is. Is it Russia or somewhere? I don't know. But I got all the plugs for that. And even the battery is BlackBerry Porsche design. I'd imagine this battery will be flat because I haven't used it for so long, but we'll see if it will light up anyway. I'll just put all this back. You can still buy these. There are still, they didn't actually sell out, but they're still about £400 or £500. And as I say, they're a lot of money for what's basically a paperweight, because you can't, as far as I know, you can't use them. You might be able to dial out and dial back in, but as a smartphone, I think the days are gone. Hello, Ian. Nice to see you, mate. Yeah, back when chargers were standard in the box. Yeah, well done, Connor. That's right. Yeah, now, I mean, the thing is, now they're changing to Type-C, aren't they? So that's where you need to be anyway. I don't think that battery's gone fat. I've just found a Motorola V3 in the cupboard, and I took it out and I thought, that's not fitting on there very well. And when I took the battery out the back of it, it's gone fat. So that was that. It's doomed. Right. I can stay on now because you don't need the whole screen. One thing I will show you. Just put that there a minute. This one's covered in PG and VG. Matt Polly, good evening to you, sir. Just check this off. I can't remember what number these were. I can't remember what they were, these. So it was difficult to tell you. I think was it the Q3, I think they called these. Right, I'll just show you. So, see both of them there. If you take the case off, that's actually the same phone. I believe that was the BlackBerry Q3. And then what Porsche Design used to do, they used to get a model of phone from a company and then do it their own. All the workings inside are exactly the same. Brand new, they were 650 quid, SIM free. And I say before they actually did the knockdown price on these, they were like €2,000. I actually got mine for about 800 and something, I think. That was included the postage to post it from Budapest, which was quite cool. It says Porsche Design. That's what it says. They're struggling a little bit now. They did a Porsche Design there. There you go. It's done it. They did this was the third model they did for BlackBerry. They did the this one was the 9983, and they did the 9982, I think, and the 9981. The 9981 was a bit more like that shape. You can still see them. If you Google them, it shows you. You can actually get them with Saudi Arabian keyboards on and stuff like that. And there was somebody somewhere that actually made one which was gold encrusted and wanted an awful lot of money for it. But, I mean, they're not a massively rare thing, but I actually love this. If it would still work, I would still use it, to be honest. As I say, if you look at it, it still looks like it's brand new. I actually wear diamond earrings, and if you look somewhere, you'll be able to see the scratches around that area, because obviously diamonds scratch glass, don't they? I don't know if you can still see them. These backs, these leather backs, it's a thin plastic with leather on the back, because you can see the logos embossed in it. And they were an awful lot of money too, because you could change them for, they were brown and green and all sorts of things. And the company actually, when BlackBerry dumped the stock, or Porsche Design dumped the stock, the company bought all the backs off them and then started trying to charge £200 for them instead of about 60 or 70. Hopefully they've still got them, greedy buggers. Yeah, was that the Q3 then, John? That's the second one I had, because I actually bought one, SIM free, from Carphone Warehouse. So as you can see, just the same in the back. The one thing what I did with my first Q3 was I put a SIM expander in there, and as I dragged the SIM expander, it pulled all the points out from the thing, so it ruined it. So I actually bought that one second hand off eBay. So, I'm not imagining. I don't know if that battery ain't gone fat. It's amazing. I don't know if you've ever had a phone with a fat battery. I should have thought about it. I should have charged it up, really, because I can't imagine it's going to have any charge in it. It may surprise me. Oh, look. It just went up red. So that means dead. Oh, look. That is a genuine surprise. That must have been stood there. I don't know how long. The other thing with these were they had 50 gig of internal storage. Welcome to BlackBerry 10 OS. Might as well put, no, we'll not bother because I'm going to take the battery out in a minute anyway. Let's see what happens to it. I don't know whether anything will happen to it. Let's have a beer. Cheers, everyone. That's right, Connor, yeah. It was the only free way of messaging somebody. Because all the rest of them were still charging 10 pence for a text. Then they started giving you bundles of messages. And now whoever spends any more money than what your contract is, because there's nothing, is there? They have to charge you extra money to ring a different network. They have to charge you anything. Yeah, that would be really sad, wouldn't it? So emergency calls only. Thank God a SIM card in it. But look at that. It's not connected up to the internet either. Let me just put my... if I can't remember how you do it. These were touchscreen, weren't they? If I can actually manage to get the Wi-Fi code into it, and I'll see if it comes up without. Straight in. With these, you used to get a capital letter. Try again. To get a capital letter, you just simply held the button down. I think the buttons are getting a bit iffy. So it's just done that twice. I'm not going to show you what my password is. Seem to like specific letters. And then did you press Alt? God, I'd need a bloody... oh, there we go. There it is. It could do with a squirt out or something. 1 second, I'll be with you in a minute. I've just got to find an exclamation mark. Found it. Boosh. Attempting one of 3. Ian Thomas. What year does the phone think it is? That provider, yeah. All right, continue anyway. I don't know. I didn't look, to be honest. Ooh. One thing, it's a bit slow. I bet by today's standards it would drive you insane. Still swirling. Connected. See how pretty that is. Let's see what that thing is. See if Taxi Man's emailed me. That's it. Look now, that it says one or more your applications services require you to verify your BlackBerry ID, and I think when you try and put your BlackBerry ID in, you find out that they've switched it off. But as a telephone, I think it would actually work as a telephone. Let's just have a look in it, see if I can find an email account. BlackBerry Hub on there. Look. See if I can find an email account to see when I last got an email, unless it's just refreshed him. BBM. See, wants that in. I don't even use that. It's a paperweight. They switched that off ages ago, didn't they? Yeah. If I'm, it might not do because they, I don't know. Let's have a look. So I actually used it in 2022. Look. Because the it's not signed into because they got rid of the BlackBerry thing. So I can't think of the word what they call it. They switched them all off, didn't they? So the last time I actually used it, Thursday 25th of August 22, there's one there. Monday 29th of August 2022. LinkedIn when I thought it was bang on and trendy. So I have used it since. But I say they actually switched it off. But it's a gorgeous thing, isn't it? And then that gives a little flutter, I think, if I remember right, as it goes off. As you can see, it's a bit of a fingerprint magnet, though, isn't it, really? Yeah, I remember the BlackBerry Storm. They were very clunky, weren't they? There you go. It takes 4 days to go off. They were very, very clunky. The server's taken offline, that's right. That's exactly what they've done. They said that they'd allow it to be for a certain amount of time, and then they took the servers offline. So BlackBerry as a thing's gone now. Other people, they actually put them onto Android, didn't they? The last few that they did, but they were shit. They were dropping to bits in people's hands. The screens were falling off of them and stuff like that because they'd let a sort of third party, give them a license to make their stuff. It took a while as it was trying to update the last 15 years. No, it's not that old. I can't actually remember when I bought them. I should have looked through the call log, see if Amish was in there. It's a good long while, isn't it? I bet I've had it 10 years. Must have had it 10 years. I wish I could remember. I mean, nowadays, if somebody said, "Oh, you're going to pay £800," you've got to think 10 years ago, £800 was a lot for a phone. But yeah. It's a nice beer, that, but I'm not sure as I'd want to drink loads of them. Am I a hoarder? No, I'm a bit of a collector. It must be 10 years ago, isn't it? It was 14 years that you were saying last week, 14 years since we started on Twitter, wasn't it? So I reckon it's about 10 years. If I'd have been a bit, I don't know, let's have a look. I can't do it. I can't do that because my chat will disappear. Somebody just Google BlackBerry Porsche design or what was it, P9983, and look for the release date. That'll tell you, and I think they sold them off a bit after. The BlackBerry have been moved to Android. Oh, so they moved to Android in 2015. Yeah, so it's probably 11, 12 years since I've had that then. But I used it for 2 solid years, and then I got the iPhone 7. And I kept that for 2 or 3 years. And then I went for the iPhone 10. And I kept that for ages. And then I got the 13 Pro, and then I rang them up to do something last year, and they said, "Oh, you've sort of upgraded, and your plan allows you to do it every year." So I got the 14 Pro Max, but I shall keep that one for quite some time, I think. These, let me just show you this case. These are an amazing case. Not for the Porsche design one, but for the for the Q3s. I had quite a few of these back in the day. And they just fit in on this rubber thing like that. And then they're absolutely solid. If you dropped them, they weren't going to break. Especially if you put them in the right way round. That's a proper case. Now everything is all glass all the time, isn't it? And if you drop an iPhone now, it's a write-off nearly. Hope you've enjoyed having a look at that, to be honest, because I have. Blast from the past. I've actually got an iPhone 3 in a box that we'll have to have a look at another week. Mr. Beer Mick, what was it? Now, here we are. All the way from Caddy's Cabin, Gainsborough. £2.50 a can. The 8.5% Orangy Boom. They've got, we were just looking on the website, Ian. They actually do a 20% beer. And they show it being drunk in small glasses. I'm not surprised. 8 megapixel, 1080p camera, 2 gigabyte of RAM, 2100 milliamp hours, released October 2014. Was that the Porsche design one though? Because I know the actual storage on one of these was 50 gig. That was the speciality of it. And I say you got that amazing BlackBerry pin. That was what it was. It was a bit of a snobbery thing. Because I had a little problem with that. And I got in touch with them and they said, what are you doing? Getting in touch with us on this thing. This is just for Porsche design members. And I said, well, it is a Porsche design phone, isn't it? Oh, sorry. How can we help you? Orangy Boom. Yeah, but I say they do a 20%er. And they do a 5%er. I've had this at 6% from Spa. 6.5%, not 8.5. It's not the same. But I think the last time I had a couple of these, I had a terrible headache. Oh, 64 gigabyte. So if they came out in 2014, I must have bought it in 2016 then. So it's not quite 10 years ago. What's your BlackBerry pin? Hello, mate. It's 0121. Yeah, but I say that was the thing with that BlackBerry pin. It was that if you got the AA, you were. It's weird, isn't it? If you, I read something, and I must admit, over the years, I've been a bit guilty of doing it myself. And it says, "Don't go broke trying to look rich." You know, I mean, like if you get a chance of buying a Q3 for £600, that does Q3 things. You know, really looking back at it as my age now, why would you want to buy that for €2,000 at the time? Even though it's simply gorgeous, but it's a phone when you're finished, isn't it, really? It's just a phone. You know, is it just so you can tell everybody? 20% probably tastes like strawberry jam, not something. Apparently, it's okay for sharing. That's what it's according to the website. If you have a look at Orangy Boom's website, it'll show you. And apparently, it's very good for sharing. Because if you drink one can on your own, it's bedtime. That is pretty advanced, isn't it, really? You know, 60, because at the time, that iPhones, you had a 16, didn't you? There was an 8, a 16. I don't know. I think the top one was 64. So, you know, they're definitely good. So let's just have a few questions. What's the oldest phone that anybody's got? What was your favourite phone in the old world? What was, you know, have you ever had an iPhone if you're on Android now, and have you ever had an Android if you're on iPhone now? It's just a phone unless you're an Android, in which case just get an iPhone. There you go. Connor's just told us which way he goes, which way he leans to. I personally, I ain't had many Androids. One of my favourite Androids I ever had was the Samsung, was it the 5? I used it solidly. Then the S5, was it S5? And then the S6 came out, so I got it on contract, and in no time at all I got rid of it because it was the worst thing I'd ever had. And went back to the S5 and carried on using that. Sold it to Mazuma. And in the end, I had to go on to Twitter to embarrass them to pay me. It was about 3 months. They kept saying it'd gone through the next level and the next level and the next level. And, you'll soon get your money. Basically, I think they'd run short of cash. They'd bought too many phones and weren't selling enough. No Apple in a million years. You've never had an Apple then, Ian, have you? It's obvious, really. The thing I like about Apple is that you press the button and it works. The only thing I don't like about Apple is it's all getting a bit boring. I remember, you used to, the latest phones that come out, they had different things on them, the different shape to them. I mean, something like this, the way it holds in your hand and with the leather back to it, it wants to be there and it's so easy to use. It's, whereas you get, this is a television screen or a camera or anything you like to be. It's a pretty good thing. But it's boring, isn't it? It's just boring. It's just the same as the other one. I've got a 7 in there, and that's a lot bigger than that, but it looks the same apart from the button at the bottom. It's just that. Never had an Android. I tried an iPhone and was hooked. Yeah, the first one I got was I actually got an iPhone 3, and I didn't keep it very long. Because at the time, when I first got mine, they didn't even have a light on them. They didn't have a torch on them. They didn't have anything. But what they used to do with the software upgrades, they used to put things like that on them. All of a sudden, you had a bloody light on the back. It just added it to the software. And then mine got scratched, I think. I'd bought a case for it, put it on there. When I took it off, there was a few scratches on there. So I flogged it on eBay and went back. It's not beer, honest. I went back and bought another BlackBerry. I loved my flip up. I loved my flip up one years ago. The ones that, yeah. I've got 2 Motorola's. Because they reckon that, I don't know if it's true or not, and sue me if you want to, Apple, because I ain't got any money. But they do say that Apple stole iTunes off somebody else. And I've got 2 Motorola V3Xs that were 3G, and they had iTunes on them. I had an iPod and it was a nightmare. Only thing it was good for was messaging my mum on her iPad when she was in care. I'm not laughing at your mum being in care. I'm laughing at your comment. I don't know. There's certain things about Apple, like you buy an iPad and you buy an iPhone, and then like you start on the bog and your phone's ringing and so is your iPad. Things like that. You think, why would I have to switch that off? Why wouldn't you have to switch it on? Why does everybody else want to see who's ringing me up? And like you switch your iPad on and it's got all your text messages and things like that wind me up. I think they should just be like standalone, shouldn't they? I have to wait another year to upgrade to the S24. But by that time there'll be another one. Did I miss something else? John Paul Glasgow, I'm waiting for my iPhone 15 Pro right now. One thing you will notice with the I've got the Pro Max, and the 15 Pro Max is a lot smaller than the 14 Pro Max. So they're basically going down to the same size as. They're going down. Let me get this right. The Pro Maxes are going down to the same size as what the phone used to be if it wasn't a Max. That's what I'm trying to kick out. So a friend of mine's got the 15 Pro Max, and it's about the same size as an iPhone 14. That's where I'm trying to get it out. iTunes was LimeWire MP3 back in the day. Yeah, the Pro Max uses USB-C. I've got the fast charger for these, and within an hour you can. That's a massive battery on that, and if you were making phone calls on it, it'd last a month. But when you start using it, if you really hammer it on data, like when I'm on holiday and that, I sit there looking at stuff, and it's sort of the battery. Well, it's not really quick, but it's not as good as it is if you're just using it for phone calls. Do you know this chair is absolutely amazing. It was a lot of money, and I'm not bragging, but I needed it for my back. So I saved up and bought it. I put it in the basket a million times before I one day actually clicked and bought it. But the only thing is, the legs at the bottom, they've left them sharp as they go down to the wheels, and every time you bang your heel, you swear. Let me see if I can keep up with this chat. I was into media-based. If I was into media-based profession, then I would go iPhone and Mac. But it's wasted on everyday use and too restrictive software. I'm Android all the way, particularly mobile dodgy box. I agree with certainly with the computer. And I know John BBG, he's got a really good iPad, and he's got the camera follows him about as he's walking about. I think you've got them as well, haven't you, Connor? And they seem to work pretty well. And John's actually managed to get a good mic connected up to his as well. So he's using it as a computer, really. He can do his streaming and all sorts. And that works well. But I fully understand what you mean. And I think iTunes now is, for me, certainly is a thing of the past. Even though I get it free, I rarely use it. I already have, what do I use? Let me have a look. Can't bloody remember now. Deezer. I use a thing called Deezer, and I pay for the family plan, and all the grandkids are on it and everything. And that's sort of my chosen thing. It seems difficult to use when you go back to iTunes. It's not as well laid out. Note 20 Ultra was probably my favourite I've had. That was I've got that bloody thing in the way. I had a Note. I think it was about a Note 3. I'll tell you the true story as well. I lent it to my wife. I said, you can, because there was another thing I'd bought SIM free. And I says, you can use that on holiday. We'll put on, because it was in the days when you couldn't afford to use a phone when you were on holiday, but you could get a better deal on something like 3 on a pay-as-you-go deal. So I lent her it. So she nipped to the loo, obviously dropped through, left it in the back pocket and dropped it in the toilet. And she walks out. She said, I've dropped your phone in the toilet. Anyway, I might have said 1 or 2 words. You know, it was like a 700 quid phone. I might have said 1 or 2 words. He said, there's no need to be funny. Oh, dear. Anyway, in the end, I got the hairdryer out. But I picked it up, and there's water coming out of it. She hadn't peed on it. She pulled it out of the toilet before she started. And there's water running out of the charging port. Anyway, there was an hairdryer in the hotel room, and and you know, it worked for another 2 years. It was a brilliant thing because it was like using a bloody computer screen. It was ace. Yeah, you've got the. Yeah, you have. Yeah, that's right, Connie. You have. Yeah. Who else we got? S24 Ultra here. 2 Cloud Chucker. Banging phone. Had the Note 20 Ultra before this. The models in between weren't worth the upgrade. Yeah, well, that's the same. And anybody remember the iPhone 8? The iPhone 8 was basically, nobody bought it. It was a complete waste of time. It was just an absolute waste of time. I mean, when you got to the 10, they changed quite a lot of things on the 10. They obviously didn't do did they do a 9? They obviously didn't do a 9, did they? Sorry, I'm just trying to read everybody. It's going quite fast. We never normally get people in on this channel, but thankfully you've all come in to see me. Hopefully we can do a few bits on here, because if I get it over 1,000, I'll stand a bit of a chance of making a few bob of it. Because it's getting a little bit of a waste of time on the vape channel, because every time you do anything, I did a live stream last night, and they put it straight behind the age gate. And then they stop your AdSense. Waste of time. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Is that what it was for? I know they love an 8, don't they? I think it is the Chinese that think the number 8 is lucky. Is that what it is? You don't like me sitting here on my own? God, I was so fed up last night. I listened to that bloody stream back of it. You couldn't hear half the words. I got the noise gate turned up too much, and like it sounded exactly like I'd just had a stroke. It was a waste of time. I had the Nokia 3310 and 5210. I've still got it. I think it's a 4G Nokia in here. If it'll switch on, I bet the battery's flat, but it won't. Oh God, it's been scratched to bloody hell. Oh no, I'll have to sell it now. No, it's flat. See, if that had been a BlackBerry, it'd still been working. These are about $29.99 from Argos. I bought it because I imagined it was going to work with my Skoda car kit, rather than messing about with expensive phones. Just to simply, it was before the days of card machines, and that's exactly what I thought it was. But apparently, the software in it didn't match up with the Skoda car kit. You had to get a different one. Got some filthy scratches all the way across it, so that's not very good. Not as it'll matter. But something like that, if you were off to Benidorm, you didn't want to get it nicked, shove it in your back pocket, they'd leave it where it was, wouldn't they? You know, if you just actually wanted to make phone calls on it. I think when you're going on a lads do, sometimes it's quite important that you have a phone with you just in case you get off the beaten track. And somebody else can find you. Yeah, Snake on Nokia, yeah. Yeah, I presume that they'll have it on one of these. With an SD card side SIM, yeah. BVG's past your bedtime. Leave him alone. That's racist. Yeah, they do. They do, kind of, yeah. Yeah, if you look, there's they've just got a new one come out. I can't think what it is. There is some really nice stuff coming out, but obviously it's made under license by somebody because Nokia went years ago. Did anybody have the... I've actually got a Nokia 8800. I had the Carbon Art one as well. I love the banter. I've actually got the Carbon Art. I had the Carbon Art version and I sold it because I needed a new gearbox in my Toyota, or new clutch or something in the Toyota. It was bloody money. And it went for about, it was a lot of money. If you look now, they're hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds. But I've still got the Scirocco version, the black one. And it's somewhere. I think it's in a bag over there. So we'll get that out another night and I'll wave that at you. I remember saving my paper round paychecks for a month to get the 5110 from our local Choices video rental. Straight off to the market stalls to buy the obligatory Rasta front case. Yeah, but that was the days, wasn't it, when you can actually change them, change the front cases, a proper Nokia part. I had a yellow one of the 5110. And then you got to the, what was it? But then Jamster. Did anybody used to subscribe to Jamster once a month for $5 to download all their ringtones? You know, so you can have something fancy on there. James Bond or Only Fools and Horses or Oppo phones. I have heard of them, but I'm not really sure. Are they Chinese? I know there were some of the Chinese phones, so everybody got them and the battery was useless. Has anybody ever bought a fake one? I bought a fake Nokia 8110 from China. Or 8210, which was a little, real small one, about that big. And I bought it. And when you went like that, the signal went off because it was that bendy. And they charged me about 30 quid customs and all. I got well ripped off. Oh. No, it's not too far. Just keep winding it into him. He'll tell you where to go in the end. Can't believe how quick that hour went. Let's stay a bit longer and enjoy myself. Is anybody else on? I don't think anybody else comes on a Monday night, do they? Piers Morgan Uncensored, if anybody's interested in that codswallop. Anyway, apparently the Sun newspaper's been put in a story that Benidorm's over. There's nobody going to it anymore. so there's another reason not to read the Sun. The ringtone editor. I forgot the website, but spent. Yeah, I do. Yeah, you can actually. I don't know if I edited it myself, but you could download them for free off a website. Did anybody? Yeah, remember Edge? It's still going, isn't it? Full of ads and free wallpapers. I think that's still on Android. It's still there. To be honest, that's a good tool. You could get some really good stuff off that. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, I'll just show you. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I don't know if you'll focus. That's my chosen setting for my personal phone. Off. Buzz. Mac Masters in Benidorm. We ought to go then. That's probably why there's nobody there, Amish. Be walking around moaning about electric cars. Can't knock the bloke. I'd rather have him than that other little shite from Tenerife. I've gone right off him. I'm Team Cabby, me. Took my mate off your Facebook group. I'm going as well. You can get it on iOS as well. Wow, I didn't know that. Some of them 4K wallpapers were bloody fantastic. This is my wallpaper. Anybody what's... hang on, let's take the pawn off the front. Anybody recognise that? I'll give you a couple of minutes. Some people probably know because I've probably already shown. Oh, yeah, Jay Slater. Yeah. I don't think I want to find him. All right, is he? Yeah. Oh, dear. We'll not talk about him anyway. Rude. She's rude. Thing is with people, it's nice to be successful on YouTube and make some money, but it's not real life. I'll tell you where that is. If nobody else is going to guess, is anybody else going to guess where that is? Or does anybody know where that is? I'll show you again, just one more time. You could think Los Angeles, Florida. I mean, look at that beautiful water in between there. Some people will already know if they've been, but let's see if anybody knows. One person's got it right. You've won a free trip. That's the view. Ian's already said it now, so I might as well tell you. That's the night view from Levante Beach, looking to the left. So that's the end there. I think Cardiac Hill's up there, into the McDonald's. If you carried on walking down the beach that way, you'd end up at McDonald's on that corner at the English Square. But people say Benidorm is trashy and tacky and that type of thing. But it's beautiful. I absolutely love the place. I've only been with friends, never been with the wife. I might end up there later this year with my darling wife, so we'll see. But she doesn't fancy it, to be really honest. There's an app called Hedge I use. Thousands of ringtones free. It's on Google Play Store. Well, sadly, I ain't got a Google. Well, I have. I've got the one I use for Slough. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Do you know, when I first started going to Heathrow Airport, I used to come out of Heathrow Airport onto the M4, A4. I used to always end up in the left-hand lane and end up going to bloody Slough. That's a few years ago. It's getting a bit warm in here. I think it's this booze. Yeah, but that's it. If there's certain places in Benidorm, I suppose that if you get there at 3 or 4 in the morning, you'll see people chundering and wobbling about and talking shite. But I love the place. I think it's lovely. Now, whether I would go for 2 weeks with the wife is probably a different thing. But I quite fancy going down to... good. I'm pleased you like it, John Paul. I'd like to go like is it Altea and Aldeer and down there? That's past Benidorm. And when I watched that Bargain Loving Brits, and there's a lot of places around that area I'd like to visit. Yeah, exactly, Connor. Things people don't realise. I mean, if you talk to the banks, they're quite sure. They seem quite sure that you're managing perfectly well without them. But like, if you get a load of change, you can't put it into a bank. You can't shove it into the post office. And if you want some change, what are you going to do? You can't get it. They're not going to give you any change, are they, from the post office because you're not a customer. And it works out pretty awkward. I just used to go down every now and again. I used to run out of change, get 20 quid's worth, and it'd keep me going for a few weeks. But Now I'm scraping round my wife's handbag and round the lottery fund. And I didn't realise that, mate. Where do you download the ringtones to then? Or do you have to put them through iTunes or something? Presume you'd have to, wouldn't you? Boner is... I've got to go. Boner is DIY. I don't know what that means. Catch you later, Steve. Nice to see you. We're going to go in a minute anyway. I just thought I'd stay on for another 10 minutes. I'm really enjoying this. It's a pleasure to see a few people on there. I've been to Calpe. That's what I was looking at, Ian. I'll tell you all now. I don't know if I've told anybody, but I will tell you all now. Obviously, we went to Spain. I did a video about it when we got back. We went to Spain. Took Lou there. It was a place where me and my wife's been going for a lot of years. While we were there, we got robbed. When we came back, my daughter works within the NHS, a small practice. And I don't want to say too much in case anybody's listening. And somebody's kindly got a friend who owns a villa somewhere where you fly into Alicante. I'm not sure whereabouts it is. And they've offered it to us to go and stay in for free. And they're also doing a bit of a fund me to pay for Lou and the kids' flights. So, because I said to Lewis to make sure they're not thinking of paying for mine, because there's no way ever. We were already booked to go out to Malaga. So I've got in touch with Ryanair and I've changed mine. We're not flying to Malaga anymore. We're going to Alicante. So what we're thinking is Lou's going for a week, so we need somewhere for another week. And what we're going to do is, I was looking at Calpe, and there's somewhere else as well. I want somewhere that's nice and quiet, really. I don't want somewhere too busy. But when we got broken into, when we were on holiday, it's actually put me off going around that area for a while, so I thought I'd try somewhere else. You choose a ringtone, it goes to your phone, and you can choose any song either. Oh, right, exactly. I'll have a look. Yeah, I know that how that works with Android, but iPhones are pretty proprietary, aren't they? I don't know where you download it to, because you can't download it to the memory. That was their idea, so you have to, if you wanted a ringtone, you have to buy it. I think that was the plan. All right, I'll have a look. To be really honest, I don't want a ringtone because I just have it on buzz anyway. So anyway, I'd better let you lovely people go. It's what time is it? 10:15. I'm sure you've better places to be than here. Thanks again for coming in. It's really nice that you've all bothered to nip over and say hello. If you're not subscribed, it would be a bonus, and if you could give a thumbs up, because it sort of really matters on this channel to get up the analytics a little bit. Because hopefully they'll start recommending one or two of the videos. I've got some really good views on very simple things on here, like phone cases and stuff like that. You get some really good views, and it really works out. You have Pink Floyd. Let's have a look. I don't play it because I don't know how you go on with the right mobile service. Where is it? Sounds and Apatics. So at the minute I've got Game of Thrones because I've had that for a long time. I'll just turn that down to make sure it doesn't. So the choice are the Breaking Bad main theme, a terrible Breaking Bad theme that was rubbish, Crockett's theme. Does anybody remember Crockett's theme from Miami Vice? There's some Spanish flamenco, the Infinity song from 2008, one from Rihanna, and then there's a terrible Office Phone one that I downloaded. Once Upon a Time in America, obviously from the film Once Upon a Time in America. Pictures of Matchstick Men, which is actually a fake, which is awful. I don't know why I got that. I must have been drunk. Soft digital ringtone, which is not too bad, but it seems to miss about 10 seconds before it starts ringing. Some more Spanish guitars, or Thunderstruck by AC/DC. Now that's one of the things about Apple. Whatever you buy, it stays with you for forever and a day, or until you buy an Android. And with that, I say thanks again for popping in. It's really nice of you to bother to come over and watch me on a Monday night. And obviously we'll catch you all next week at this time on here, and we'll look at another mobile phone if you want. I'll have to invent something new every week that you can have a look at. But anyway, have a lovely evening and we'll catch you all soon. Good night.
But it's thicker than water, but it's cloudy.